I'm Luke Summerhays, and I love Froakie. In the age of samurai, shinobi, or shadow warriors, were as essential a part of warfare as subterfuge and stealth have ever been. Disguised as common farmers or monks, samurai, or less noble warriors, would pass unnoticed into camps or castles, committing sabotage, stealing information, or assassinating targets. The most effective practitioners of these arts came from the valleys of Iga and Koga, near Kyoto, where ancient arts were passed from generation to generation to protect the village. The modern image of the shinobi, or as the characters can also be read, the ninja, comes from later in the popular culture of the Edo period. The classic black costume was actually the garb of stagehands in theatrical plays, some of whom might turn out to have a surprise role in the story as a ninja. Much of the legend of the ninja comes from this era of fiction, including the novel series Jiraiya, which began in 1806 and stars the eponymous wanderer who has magic tricks and rides an enormous toad. Froakie is the water-type starter Pokemon for the 6th generation, a sky-blue frog with white bubbles forming a sash around its neck. The Japanese name, Keromatsu, combines kero kero, the Japanese onomatopoeia for frogs' voices, the equivalent to ribbit in English, and matsu, or foam. Pokemon X tells us, it secretes flexible bubbles from its chest and back. The bubbles reduce the damage it would otherwise take when attacked. And Pokemon Y tells us, it protects its skin by covering its body in delicate bubbles. Beneath its happy-go-lucky air, it keeps a watchful eye on its surroundings. Froakie's bubbles can be pulled up over its head, forming a kind of hood, seen in the anime if not very often in the games. This leads to the English name combining frog with cloak, and perhaps foamy. Pokemon Scarlet tells us, its happy-go-lucky look is an act intended to fool its enemies. It will suddenly drop the facade and overwhelm its foes with its blinding speed. And Pokemon Violet, it utilizes its extraordinary jumping abilities to flummox its foes, throwing springy bubbles at them from above their heads. This subterfuge is key to Froakie's repertoire, and will become more apparent as it evolves into the stealthy rogue of the Kalos starter threesome. The next step in this development comes at level 16, when Froakie evolves into Frogadier. Frogadier has longer, more slender limbs and body, along with a smug look of satisfaction. The foamy bubbles are less like a backpack now, and more like a trailing scarf. The name, Frogadier, combines frog with a military rank like brigadier or grenadier. Similarly, the Japanese name, Gekogashira, takes a suffix used for unit leaders or minor criminal lieutenants. The implication seems to be that, from humble roots as a Froakie, it has ranked up to a low-level shinobi. This Pokedex certainly talks about ninja skills. Pokemon X tells us, it can throw bubble-covered pebbles with precise control, hitting empty cans up to 100 feet away. And Pokemon Y, its swiftness is unparalleled. It can scale a tower of more than 2,000 feet in a minute's time. And Pokemon Scarlet, it excels at devising battle strategies that make use of the terrain, and it never misses its mark when throwing bubble-covered pebbles. Climbing castles and throwing small weapons was something which definitely happened in the history of samurai warfare, though perhaps not with the same frequency as depicted in ninja media. But it's not until level 36 that Frogadier will truly leap into the exaggerated world of mystical ninja, when it evolves into Greninja. Greninja has grown to have human-like proportions, with bubbles now forming armor plates on its knees and elbows. An additional dark typing comes with a brooding demeanor, and the Pokemon now wraps its long pink tongue around its neck, like the scarf Jiraiya and other famous ninja are often famously depicted with. Pokemon Scarlet tells us, "The movement of air against the long tongue Greninja keeps wrapped around its neck allows it to sense enemies it can't see." The name Greninja takes Grenouille, French for frog, and combines it with the literal word ninja. The Japanese name Gekkoga is slightly more subtle, combining Gekko, the Japanese for croak, with Koga, the region and tradition of ninja techniques. Pokemon X tells us, "It creates throwing stars out of compressed water. When it spins them and throws them at high speed, these stars can split metal in two." And Pokemon Y says, "It appears and vanishes with a ninja's grace. It toys with its enemies using swift movements, while slicing them with throwing stars of sharpest water." These shuriken-flinging antics have taken Greninja far. A team of mind-controlled Greninja pursue our heroes in the live-action Detective Pikachu movie, while Greninja was playable in Super Smash Bros. As a fast-moving, hard-hitting ninja character. Even Ash had a Greninja as a key member of the team in the Kalos anime series. Ash's Greninja had the unique Battle Bond ability, becoming so in sync with the trainer that it transformed slightly into a more powerful form which resembled Ash himself. In the 7th generation games, players could even get this form of Greninja, like a kind of mythical Pokemon. And Greninja was a force to be reckoned with competitively, with exceptional speed and special attack, combined with the ability Protean, letting it change its type to match any attack. And then Ash Greninja came along with the even more powerful Battle Bond ability, letting it boost itself just like its anime counterpart. All of these connections to Jiraiya and ninja mythos makes Greninja a cool and beloved Pokemon. But as an Englishman, I will always just find it funny that France has a frog as one of its starter Pokemon, even if it is admittedly a very cool frog. Music for Luke Loves Pokemon is by Jonathan Cromie. Artwork for the show is by Katie Groves. If you enjoy the podcast, find out about my other shows at podcastiopodcastius.org. Get in touch on Blue Sky at podcastpodcast, or support the show at patreon.com/podcastiopodcastius. I love hearing from listeners. Up next are Bunnelby and Fletchling, so hit me up about those or any other Pokemon. And even if you don't feel like doing any of that, thank you so much just for listening. I love Froakie, and remember, I love you too.